able to see it. Oh, probably not. But there is some shimmer here. So in person, you can see this 1000%. It smells amazing. And let's do just one more before I get into it. This is how much I have on my hand. And I guess now I can take the opportunity to ask all of you what kind of spooky fall videos you want to see from me. Comment down below right now before we get started with the story. I am going to be filming a couple of these Reddit stories as well as more kid-friendly stories from the book Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I also have, of course, some coffee shop roleplays, some spooky vlogs, but anything else that you want to see, please let me know down below. Oh, this actually moisturizes. You know how some lotions you apply it and it's like you didn't put anything on, like it won't do anything, it won't moisturize or hydrate your skin. My hands feel so good, and I have extra long press-on nails today, so I thought I could take some breaks in between stories. We're gonna see how many stories I can actually get through today. I want this video to be at least 30 minutes long, so we'll see how much I can get through. But I thought I would bring this cup as well. Oh my god, so that I can maybe do a little bit of scratching and tapping whenever I need a water break or in between stories. I hope you guys like the lighting. It's a little bit spooky vibes. Let me know if it's not too harsh on your eyes. And I almost forgot, I need to show you my sweater that I am wearing in honor of our first spooky video of the year. It's Hello Kitty. A Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty cozy long sleeve. Our first story for today is my girlfriend was up unusually early this morning. I wish I never found out why. This story is by genuinely grim, and it was posted in August of 2022, so it's actually not a new story, but it was rated a really good one. I'm going to take out the trash, my girlfriend Monica announced as soon as I hands were fidgety and her eyes wouldn't meet mine. "Monica," I grunted, trying to tame the lump in my throat. "What's the matter?" She took a deep breath as though she was going to speak, but then hunched her shoulders over and shook her head. "I need to take out the trash," she said. I gawked at her, dumbfounded. "But you just did." She shook her head and glided towards the trash can cabinet, opening it and producing another bag from within. Then, just like the previous time, she turned on her heel and disappeared from the kitchen. Needless to say, the silent treatment was unlike Monica. Had something happened during her night out? Had I done anything to upset her? And where were all of these bags coming from? As soon as I heard the front door shut, I leaped out of my seat and threw the cabinet open, expecting to, well, I'm not entirely sure what I was expecting. Either way, it was empty. "What's going on?" I asked, when she returned 5 minutes later, the same empty look in her eyes. "Do you want to talk about it?" She looked dubious. "Monica." "Okay," she said, "but first, let me take out the trash." My stomach lurched as she flung the cabinet open again, pulling out yet another garbage bag. "What the hell?" I began subconsciously pinching my arm, as if to ensure I wasn't dreaming. "What are all these bags?" But she wasn't listening, instead turning her back to me and retreating the same way she had come. A chill crawled up my spine. What the hell is going on? I could have sworn the cabinet had been empty only a few moments ago. Where had all of these bags come from, and why wasn't she taking them all out at once? Shutting the front door. Oh my god, sorry. I feel like my face is itching. Shutting the front door behind me as meticulously as I could, I crept down the hallway leading to the stairwell. I needed to investigate. Monica had never willingly taken out the trash before. She said the garbage chute gave her the creeps. Our apartment was on the 6th floor, so there was no way she could have gone down all those flights of stairs for a single bag of garbage. The door to the garbage chute at the end of the hallway was ajar, and I could hear the faint wail of metal as it was pulled open. I swallowed. Suddenly, I had a loss for what to do. I mean, wouldn't it be weird if she found me standing there? And what exactly was I planning to say? I listened in, my skin prickling in anticipation and my heart thumping in my chest. Oh, what was I so worked up for? It was only Monica, for God's sake. She's probably had a falling out with one of her friends, or maybe I was snoring again and she couldn't get to sleep. I'll just go in. But what I saw when I opened the door will remain with me for the rest of my life. Monica was sitting on the door of the chute, her legs already swallowed by the darkness within. Slowly but surely, she was edging her body into it, her palms calmly against the metallic finish. She turned her head at the sound of the door opening, and for a brief moment, her eyes lit up with recognition. "Monica," I cried out, dashing towards the chute, my heart practically leaping up off of my chest. "What are you?" But it was too late. Startled by my voice, or by the presence, she let go and disappeared into the chute, a raspy wail reverberating against the steel. Thud. I wanted to scream, but it was as though I suddenly gone mute. Fear sizzled through me like electricity as I flew down the stairs to the manager's office. "Give me the key to the trash room," I demanded breathlessly. "My girlfriend is inside." He looked at me over the tops of great sight, but I didn't care. She fell into the chute. I sobbed, grabbing the edge of the desk for support from the 6th floor. Everything happened so quickly after that. An ambulance was called, as were the police. At first, they were hesitant to tell me what they'd found. They kept insisting I sit down and have some water, throwing leaflets about therapy and mental well-being into my lap. Please, just tell me. Just tell me. I kept repeating, but nobody was listening. Hours seemed to pass by without a single word of affirmation or any information needed to piece the events of the morning together. The ambulance left within about 20 minutes of arrival and left the police to take care of it. I couldn't understand it. I mean, even if Monica was badly hurt, she still needed to be looked at the hospital. So why had they left? Eventually, an uneasy-looking officer took a seat next to me. Son, he began slowly studying my reaction. Your girlfriend is gone. I buried my face in my hands. Of course she was. She jumped down the chute, plummeting God knows how many feet. But your story isn't quite adding up, he continued, his eyes narrowing. You said she had fallen into the chute, but he took a deep breath, his forehead creasing. But we found her, well, parts of her, inside a garbage bag. My blood ran cold. It was like I could no longer understand what he was saying. His mouth was moving, but the sounds were jumbled and wouldn't make sense. Inside a garbage bag? What the hell was that supposed to mean? He explained to me that the garbage bag had been there for at least several hours before the police were called. He said that there was no doubt that his consents belonged to Monica. He asked whether I had an idea what happened. Then, in a much softer tone, he added that I'd be expected to come in for questioning. When I finally returned to my apartment that morning, all I wanted to do was fall into bed and go to sleep, praying I'd wake up to discover that all of this had been nothing but a bad dream. But as soon as I entered the bedroom, the front door slammed shut. Hello, I called out, my voice meek and croaky. Silence. A newfound sense of dread filled my lungs as I recalled the events of the morning. As I tiptoed slowly towards the kitchen, I couldn't help wondering if... No, it couldn't be. She was leaning over the trash can cabinet, a new garbage bag in her grasp. She spun around. Our eyes met. I'm just going to take the trash out, she said. I stared at her, my breath catching in my throat. Here she was, right in front of me, talking about trash as if it were the most casual thing in the world. In a feeble attempt to make her stay, I asked the only question I can think of. I asked it even though I knew the answer already. What's in the bag, honey? Oh my god. That was a good one. Why did I think he was going to ask her who killed you, or like what happened to you? I feel like if you already know that she, is, and on top of that, they're gonna question you. I feel like you would ask or try to find answers or a name that can help you the next day. But either way, I mean, he's kind of screwed. Someone said in the comments, everyone's saying ghost, and here I am thinking she's been replaced, and whatever replaced her is slowly disposing of her body. Let me know your thoughts down below for that story. I'm gonna read one more story for you today, and if you guys like this, I can totally film a second part, so please let me know down below. Okay, I'm back with another story. This one is called My Parents Went Hiking 3 days ago. The search party found their GoPro still recording. It was sudden. We suffering from sleep deprivation. It felt as though my parents were just us of their former selves, and more ominous than that, there was a strange, faint background noise constantly playing for the first 3 hours. Then it just stopped. My parents looked around and seemed to sigh and become way more relaxed. Then they stopped for a food break at a small creek. It seemed good until that noise started back up and louder than before. This caused noticeable dread in my parents, as the fear in their eyes was visible. They both ran away, leaving all of their food behind, as the noise kept getting louder and louder. Eventually, my mother tripped and her bone-chilling screams could be heard in the background as the noise seemed to stop with her. After 2 hours of non-stop running, my father ended up back at the house backyard. I heard him sobbing uncontrollably. He was a mess just by the audio. He started to get it together and approach our house until the light around him seemed to wash away like fresh paint in a reaction to water. We sat there watching this overwhelming silence and darkness until it was broken by a faint sound. Then it got louder and louder until it felt like my eardrums were about to drop. My father appeared back in the woods, but he was not alone, and he turned. A part of the screen seemed to wrap and glitch. My father looked at it and started screaming as the thing approached him in the blink of an eye. My father seemed to be screaming as something was inserted into his mouth, and then it stopped when the snapping of his bones was heard. The GoPro fell on the ground, and it filmed my father floating over the glitching part of the screen. Then both of them just seemed to phase out of focus and into nothingness. I was in shock by what I saw, and so was everybody else in the room with me. My sister was pale, and my uncle looked completely petrified. Finally, the police escorted us out. The drive home was silent, and we all seemed to not dare to speak a word, because in the silence, we all heard it. The faint sound of the thing that killed my parents slowly approaching. That is crazy. I'm gonna read some of the comments that people left because I also find those to be kind of funny sometimes. Someone said aliens. First losing your parents, then looking at the horrifying clip, and now this sound which is following you. I hope that 3 of you survive. Uncle was probably crying because he had to babysit 20-year-olds. Talk about yikes. I see a couple of comments saying that it was aliens. I have no idea, but the ending is kind of creepy because whatever this thing was out to get them as well. So, oh my god, that is it for my very first spooky or no sleep Reddit stories. I've been reading a lot of the scary stories to tell in the dark on my TikTok live streams, but I think this is nice because some of them are actually really spooky, and as you know, the other book is more kid friendly. Please let me know down below if you enjoyed this and I can do more parts. These are pretty easy to film, so I can for sure get a lot of these up if that's what you want. Thank you, besties, for being here with me. Consider subscribing if you like spooky ASMR content, and then of course my usual